Here I have three different functions, and I want to determine what is the domain of each of those particular functions. The domain is basically telling me is what are the valid numbers to put into the equation so that it doesn't blow up. Well, we got three different types of examples here. The first example, f of x equals x squared plus 5x. Well, there doesn't appear to be any restrictions on this. I can think of any value I can put in for an x, and there's not going to be any problems. So let me contrast that with the second example to help you understand, well, where would there be a problem? If the first one doesn't have one, show me one that does. Well, the second one does have a problem. Can you see anything I got to be careful of? Any restrictions? Well, yes. This is a rational expression, and I can't divide by 0. So I have to make sure to exclude any values to make the denominator equal to 0. So I'm going to set the denominator equal to 0 and find out what are those values. And it looks like the values are plus or minus 2. Those are the two values that make this rational expression or this function blow up. So my domain then would be all real numbers except for plus or minus 2. This third example also will potentially have some restrictions. I need to ensure that any number underneath the radical is 0 or positive. If it was negative, then I would not be able to find its solution. So I'm going to make sure that 4 minus 3t is greater than or equal to 0. Those are my valid numbers, my valid domain. Solving that, I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides. I'm going to divide both sides by a negative 3. So t, I have to flip the sign around because I'm multiplying or dividing by a negative. So t, so this is valid. My domain will include all numbers that are greater than or equal to 4/3. A number less than that would not work. Okay, I didn't drill this right. I was looking at that, I was trying to test numbers. Sometimes it's important to try a test number, like 0. 0 does work, but this equation's inaccurate. What I forgot to do, I was telling you that I need to switch the sign around. I just didn't do it. So there we go, the sign is switched around. So this is all true for all values less than or equal to 4/3 is where my domain is at. So let's try value. 0 is less than or equal to 4/3. If I put 0 in, 4 minus 0, positive 4, that works. Let's try a number that is greater than 4/3, like 10. 4 minus 3 times 10, 4 minus 30, gives me a negative 26. That does not work. So I would describe this then as all values that are less than, all values of t, which are less than or equal to 4/3. In interval notation, I could write that as the numbers negative infinity to 4/3. 4/3 does work. I'll make that a better negative infinity. So the interval notation set is for all values. My domain consists of all values from negative infinity to 4/3. Any number than greater 4/3, the problem crashes.